It was supposed to be a normal Sunday dinner with the family. My wife Sarah had insisted we come early. "It'll be fun, everyone's excited to see us," she had said. I believed her. I wanted to believe her. But something in the way she smiled when she mentioned Uncle James's new business venture made me uneasy. A flicker of nervous energy I couldn't place. I shrugged it off as overthinking. As we entered the house, the smell of roasted chicken and baked bread hit me, and for a moment I tried to focus on normalcy. I greeted my parents, exchanged small talk, and kept glancing toward Sarah, noticing her whispering to someone behind her hand. I didn't think much of it at first. She often whispered to her friends or cousins, until I saw him. There he was, leaning slightly forward, laughing at something Sarah had said. His hand brushed hers in a way that made my stomach turn. That casual, intimate touch the kind couples share in private. It wasn't something she would do with a friend. My chest tightened. My mind raced. I wanted to confront her there and then, but I knew if I lost control I'd lose more than just my temper. I would give them the satisfaction of watching me break. I sat down, heart hammering, and tried to follow the conversation at the table. My parents were oblivious, caught up in the chatter about vacations and grandchildren. I watched as Sarah and him exchanged glances, small smirks, subtle signs only the two of them understood. Every laugh, every lean toward each other screamed betrayal. Halfway through dinner, I excused myself to the kitchen. I needed air, needed space to think. The cool tiles beneath my feet couldn't cool the fire inside. I replayed every text, every unexplained late night, every half-truth she'd told over the past months. It all aligned now. Every denial, every excuse. It had been hiding something far worse. I returned to the dining room with a calm I didn't feel. My stomach churned, but my face remained neutral. I took a deep breath and slid my hand across the table, lightly touching hers, not for intimacy but for acknowledgement. She looked at me, startled, and in that instant I knew she understood that I knew. The secret was no longer hers to hide. I could feel the tension at the table shift. Sarah's eyes darted around, searching for an excuse, a distraction, a lifeline. But there was none. I had seen too much, knew too much. I could feel the disappointment in the air, though no one else had noticed it yet. The laughter had stopped. Conversations slowed. My parents glanced at each other, sensing the change but not yet understanding why. I looked directly at Sarah. "Do you want to explain this?" I asked, my voice steady, controlled. More chilling than any yell could have been. Her smile faltered, and she looked down at her plate, fumbling with her fork. The man beside her, the one she thought was invisible to me, shifted uncomfortably in his chair. That slight panic gave me a strange satisfaction. No words came from her at first, only silence. Heavy, suffocating, filled with guilt. I let the silence stretch, each second an accusation, each heartbeat a reminder of what had been betrayed. She finally muttered something about, "It's not what you think," but the tone lacked conviction. The lie was weak, obvious. I had heard every excuse in every relationship I'd ever had, and this one fell apart under its own weight. I stood up slowly. My chair scraped against the floor. A sharp sound that seemed louder than it was. "I think I'm done here," I said, calmly but firmly. No pleading, no begging, no confrontation. Just the truth. The truth that I had been living with for months but hadn't admitted to myself. I turned and walked out, leaving the room frozen in a mix of shock and tension. I could hear Sarah calling my name, her voice trembling, panicked. 15 missed calls on my phone already, messages begging, apologizing, manipulating. None of it mattered. Every second I walked toward the front door. The weight of betrayal lifted slightly off my chest. Their disappointment would come, sure. My parents, her family, anyone who had cheered for our perfect marriage. But this was a moment I needed for myself, not for anyone else. Outside, I took a deep breath. The cool evening air hit my face, sharp, cleansing. I realized I hadn't even noticed my own shaking until now. Betrayal leaves a residue, a taste that lingers long after the moment passes. But walking away, leaving her to face the consequences of her choices, felt like reclaiming something I hadn't felt in months: control, dignity, self-respect. I didn't look back. I didn't need to. The moment had been made clear. The lies, the deceit, the betrayal, they had destroyed the version of us I had once believed in. And now it was her turn to face the fallout, the judgment, the disappointment while I finally started to think about myself again. The next morning the house was quiet. Too quiet. Sarah's absence was palpable even before I opened the door. I walked in slowly, taking in the remnants of the night before. Half-empty wine glasses, the faint scent of perfume lingering in the air. The chair she had vacated still pushed back as if in a hurry to escape. I didn't feel anger anymore. That had been replaced by a cold clarity. The betrayal was no longer a shock. It was a fact, something I could observe without flinching. Messages kept coming through my phone. Desperate, pleading, manipulative. "Ryan, please answer me," she texted. "I didn't mean it. We can fix this. I love you." But love had nothing to do with the choices she made. Love didn't hide conversations, sneak out behind doors, or smile at someone else during family dinners. I read each message carefully, but I didn't respond. Silence was the only reply left that held any weight. I sat down on the couch, looking at the framed photos of us. Happier times, laughing at some vacation, holding hands at a festival, her head on my shoulder at the airport. Memories that once brought warmth now felt distant, like a story about someone else. I realized that part of loving someone is accepting that they can choose to betray you, even if you never gave them a reason. It's painful, yes, but there is liberation in the acceptance. By midday, I heard the faint hum of the front gate opening. She was back. I didn't rush to greet her. I waited as she stepped inside, hesitating, unsure, eyes searching mine for some sign of forgiveness. I didn't give her one. "Ryan, please," she began, voice trembling. "I made a mistake. I held up my hand. Save it. I don't need your explanations and I don't need your apologies. You've already made your choice." Her shoulders slumped. The fire that once burned in her defiance was replaced by realization. The kind that comes too late. I could see her thinking about the disappointment she would now face. My parents, her own family, the social circles that had believed in the story of our marriage. And for the first time in a long time, I felt a twinge of satisfaction, not from revenge but from justice, the natural consequences of her actions finally catching up. I didn't need to stay. I didn't need to argue. I didn't need to explain. I turned, walked out of the house, and felt the weight lift further from my shoulders. Freedom isn't loud. It's a quiet exhale. A slow step toward reclaiming the life that was always mine to live. Sarah remained inside, facing their judgment, and I realized that some betrayals are best answered not with confrontation, but with absence. As I walked away, I finally let myself feel what I had suppressed for months: grief, yes, but also relief. For the first time in a long while, I could breathe freely. The betrayal was hers, the aftermath hers to bear. I had chosen my peace, and in that choice I found myself again.